robotic. Oh, you know what? That's totally fine. It's just gonna be the three of you.
No, excuse me.
I didn't realize I had to put myself in there. Hi, good morning, everybody. I just popped up out of the left. This is Anna Southern with RVA Connected, and I'm super excited here because as you can see, okay, shameless plug for me, just one quick moment. All of these amazing women are surgeons. And I got 3 surgeons in one room at the same time. Nobody's like, I think that's a feat. Anybody like that? So that's going to be a badge of honor that I'm going to carry around. They're like, what have you done? I got 3 surgeons into a room at one time. But I'm super excited to have all of you ladies are from Bon Secours St. Francis.
Yes,
so Joe Wilkins, who's part of the chamber board with me, came up to me and he was like, hey, we have 4 amazing surgeons on our team, and would you like to interview them? And I was like, say less. Absolutely. When can we do it? And the only reason we had to do it this far out was because I went on vacation for 2 weeks. Nice. So I'm back from vacation, physically, not mentally just yet. But I'm excited to interview you guys and share a little bit more about what you're doing here in the community. Bon Secours is one of our sponsors for one of our magazines, which I love. And I'm excited to chat with you guys and to hear everything that you guys have done and what you're looking to do and how you're supporting the community. So why don't we start off with you, and you can go ahead and Go ahead and introduce yourself and give us your name and how long you've been with Bon Secours.
Okay, I'm Dr. Julie Kilpatrick. I am a general surgeon with our practice. I was trained at VCU, and I just started last September with Bon Secours St. Francis.
Awesome.
I'm Dr. Melissa Marinello. I also am a general surgeon, trained at VCU, but several years before Dr. Kilpatrick. And I have been at Bon Secours just a year as an employed surgeon, but I have worked at Bon Secours and several other connected facilities in the area for the past 20 years.
Okay, wonderful.
And my name is Dr. Mazare Kamara, and I am a colorectal and general surgeon. I've been at Bon Secours since September 2025, and I trained all in Michigan. So that comes from my residency as well as my colorectal surgery fellowship.
I love that. So why colorectal surgery?
Oh, because I like to talk about poop.
Nobody does. We all should.
Exactly. I love talking about gut health, and I love dealing with when it comes to colorectal surgery, dealing with it from the abdomen all the way to anorectal. So I say, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, colon cancer, rectal cancer, but then also hemorrhoids, anal fissures, anal pain, blood per rectum, all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
All the things in the nether region.
Yes.
And before we go further, we do need to shout out Dr. Glanville,
Yes,
who
we do.
is
Yes.
our 4th partner. She is at St. Francis operating on an emergency case this morning, so she couldn't be with us, but we definitely need to give her a shout out.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry that she has an emergency case but I'm glad that she is, there taking care of the patient as much needed. So let's talk about the fact that you guys are all females, right?
Yes.
So mostly, the upper leadership in hospitals are mostly men, which is fantastic. What does being like a female surgeon mean? I mean, you guys have been doing it for a while. So why is that so? I mean, I have my opinion and I can share that, and it'll be my opinion, not the opinion of the doctors or Bon Secours or anything like that. But why is that important for you guys?
So I feel, I've been in multiple different practice situations, and, this opportunity came up to be employed by Bon Secours a couple of years ago. It was, a little while in the making. And Dr. Glanville and I were part of a different practice, and we were working at St. Francis, covering, their acute care surgery and doing elective cases there. But really, St. Francis has gotten very, very busy, and we were getting too busy to be in more than one place. So we kind of decided to make the shift. And as we were doing that, we had worked well together for several years, and then we knew we needed a couple other surgeons. So in interviewing different people, we really wanted a group that shared a lot of our same principles, our same work ethic, and an understanding of what it meant to be a surgeon and a mother, and to have a lot of other responsibilities in your life that need to be balanced. So when we were interviewing people, we really wanted to make sure that we had a team that would work well together, that would understand that if a kid is sick and I can't take call today, can you cover me and I'll get you the next time? We've all had big, deaths in the family or family emergencies with health. And we all work well together.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You go take care of what needs to be taken care of. We've got you.
Right.
And we know that we will do that for each other.
I love
And that was really important. And the communication piece of it. It's just, we all communicate very well together.
I love that.
So when we were meeting and interviewing, everything just kind of clicked and felt right. And I think we've done a great job building the practice. We have great communication with hospital staff, administration, the OR staff really appreciate us. I think that with the male surgeons, it's very much of that, they're the surgeon, they're untouchable.
Right.
Whether for good or for bad, they OR staff and see us more as colleagues and feel more comfortable having a conversation with us and partnering more with patient care with us as a team versus you're the surgeon, we're the nurses or other.
So it's a little bit more collaborative than
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that saying like you can't have it all, or they try to tell people you can't have it all. And I agree with the statement, you can't have it all at this one time. But
Say, why can't you?
yeah, we can have it all.
We can.
But it might not be exactly at that same time. But I think watching my partners especially, it just tells me, number one, I can be an technically excellent surgeon, but then I also can show up for my family when I need to.
Yeah.
And, just being alongside them, like we are all, daughters, we are sisters, they are wives, they are mothers, we are all doing this and being excellent surgeon. And I think that is something that, not many people can say.
Right.
So it's great to watch them, and not only for me to like be able to say, hey, can you look at this case, give me advice on this, but also just watch how we all just take up space and we're unapologetically women and surgeons.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay! I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel incredibly fortunate to have found this practice because I feel like I benefit from the experience of Dr. Glanville and Dr. Marinello and essentially fostering this group, building this group of surgeons who, like she said, want to communicate well and have each other's backs. And so I know if I get into a position where I want a second set of eyes or a third set of eyes, I can get that. There's been times where all four of us have been in the OR because we're checking on a complex case. We're giving opinions. We're always constantly talking to each other about our patients. So really our patients are then, benefiting from the communication and camaraderie that we have amongst each other. And that makes it wonderful. And as far as being a woman in surgery and being a mother, like a mother in surgery, is actually how I found this practice.
Okay.
And so there's a lot about, because I was part of a social group of women surgeons that were mothers and surgeon moms. And I think there's part of one of the obstacles of women advancing in their careers is that if all the head people are males, then you're kind of shut out of some of the male things.
Mm-hmm.
But because more and more women are becoming surgeons and they are also mothers, utilizing those groups and reaching out and talking to each other and building our own networks of people so that's how we find each other and bring more people up with us.
Yeah, and show them, because it's hard to be, I think for women, it's an expectation that we do all the things. We do the cleaning, the cooking, I hire people to do those things, right?
Yes.
But it's still an expectation that I'm the one to hire somebody, right?
Yes.
And I'm the one to fire somebody if the need happens. But as a mom and as a business owner, I don't believe that there's balance, right? You can't have balance, because if you had balance, then you're in the surgery room and you're wondering what's going on with your kid at home, or you had an argument with your spouse, right? And so you're trying to balance both of them. But when you're being a surgeon, you need to be 100% there with your patient, right?
Yes.
And then once you leave the surgery room, that's when you can be a mom and you can step out into those roles. But I think it's hard for women. It's been challenging for women, but I feel like the conversation is shifting and the tide is changing, where we don't have to do all the things, and it's okay to hire out and get the housekeeper and get the cook or whatever it is that you need, and still be excellent at what you're doing. And I love what you said, because I'm a firm believer I can have everything that I want in this life. If I want it, if I put it on my heart, then I can have it. I just don't want to have 6 steak meals right here at this moment, right? I want to have the steak meal, and then maybe in the next 6 days I want to have those, right? I don't want to have them all at this time. So what has it meant for And how long have you been practicing?
So I've been practicing for 2 years independently.
Okay, and how about you?
About 20 years.
Okay,
I'm in my first year of practice.
okay, all right. So what have you noticed coming out of residency, right? So your perspective is gonna be a little bit different because you've got, you've got some time. What have you noticed coming out of residency and actually practicing? Like what changes have you seen or what things have you noticed that you're like, maybe we should do that differently?
You mean when it comes to just interacting with patients, or?
I think with being a surgeon and interacting with patients and in the environments that you've been in.
I think one of the greatest things is, so we will all cover each other on the weekends. So on the weekends, it's just one of us four take call. And what I find the most uplifting is when I get into a patient's room and I'm like, hi, my name is Dr. Kamara. I'm Dr. Marinella's partner. And they're just like, wow, you guys are just different from what we used to think a surgeon was.
Okay.
You take the time to have a conversation with me, and I feel like I understand exactly what my diagnosis is, what happened with my surgery, and where I am now when it comes to postoperative recovery. And I feel like what is important about that is that they're telling me what has changed. They're like, years ago I had this and this done, and I thought Dr. Marinello, or I thought Dr. Kilpatrick, or I thought Dr. Glanville, were one of its kind. But now it seems like all these surgeons can really, you guys listen. And I think that is something that's changing as a culture also in surgery. I think before it was very much about like, if you're a good surgeon, great. That's it. That's all we expect of you. And you can be rude, you can be condescending as long as you're a great surgeon. And I think now we're just holding everyone to a higher standard and we expect more.
Well, it used to be like you can either choose the guy who has, and I say the guy, right? The guy who has the bedside manner, or you can choose a really great surgeon. You can't have them both in one, right? And I love the fact that you guys are changing that narrative, right? You can be empathetic and you can be a really, really darn good surgeon as well too. I would prefer to say something else.
And I think that that's important. Like people really appreciate the time and the caring and the you called my daughter. She really appreciated it. Nobody's ever done that before. I had a patient yesterday who said, I'm new to the area. I really want female physicians. Can you help me find, I need a urologist. But I really want females because I know that I get better care.
Right.
And you hear that over and over again. And I think that is a changing, some of the older folks, when you're the surgeon, like they're expecting somebody different.
Right.
But I think more and more people are seeing that, yes, they do get excellent care. And there's a different level of connection and empathy, I think, when we're dealing with patients.
Yeah, I love that. Well, because before it used to be, when I go to see my doctor, he has like 5 sets. And this is nothing against doctors, right? Like you guys get it from both sides. You get it from the patients who are like, I need you to see me, I need you to talk to me. And then you get it from higher ups, the big pharma, et cetera, whatever. And you guys are being pressured, like you guys are the pressure cooker right in the middle, right? And you have to deal with both of them. But I love the fact that you guys are taking the time, because I can imagine somebody who is colorectal cancer, right? Now all of a sudden they're dealing with this and then they don't understand what that means, right? And so what does that mean for me? And so you're taking the time to have that conversation, and then you have your partners who are going to come in and have the same conversation and continue to carry the baton of like, yes, we're here, we're to take care of you. But that's a very different conversations that have been had for decades right now. So I love that that's changing. So why Bon Secours?
So I have worked VCU, the VA, HCA, and Bon Secours in Richmond. I've pretty much over my career at some point hit all of the facilities. And at St. Francis specifically, it's a community hospital. We do a lot of very complex, advanced cases there, but it still feels like a community hospital. You mentioned Joe. Joe has been there. He checks in. He texted us this morning. Good luck with your radio interview. He's invested here. We can go to administration and say, this is our concern. And they respond. They email us. They come find us. The OR, we've been there long, at least I've been there long enough. This morning I got a phone call. Hey, you have a case on Friday. Can we move it here or there? Like they're looking out for us. They, understand what our lives are like and how busy we are. And they're all working with us. It's not, this is this is the deadline or this is the expectation, you meet it or not. It's
Right.
okay, what do you need to get there?
Yeah.
How can we help you? How can we support you? And that's very different from the other, hospitals in the
Locations.
area.
Yeah.
So it's just very much felt like home and a very supportive environment. And that's why when I was trying to choose, like I said, I've been into several different practice models. When this opportunity came up, I said, yeah, you know what, that sounds like a really good fit. We're gonna do well with the practice there at St.
I love it.
Francis.
I love it.
So,
Yeah, I loved the opportunity to be a part of the community, so that the job and the community are not separate, they're intertwined.
Mhm.
And yes, Joe is incredibly responsive. We have a lovely and very hardworking and talented PA on our team, Andy, so shout out to him as well, who helps us see our patients and take care of things because we're operating often. And so the other team members need to communicate with him. And so while he may not be operating on them, he is making sure that their plans get carried through while we aren't able to check our phones or check the lab or check the thing. He's following up on things and taking care. So them helping provide that, provide Andy to us is fantastic. And yeah, I do feel supported and by the whole staff, our OR staff, the hospitalists, everybody seems to communicate really, really well.
Yeah, and I would say for me, it's about the same. It's a community-based and then mission-driven care.
Mhm.
And I just feel like everybody is committed to the mission of taking care of the patients. We put our patients first. And then not only that is especially when I interviewed and you meet people from different departments, and it just felt like a family. It felt like everybody was coming together for one goal, and I didn't feel like, oh, when I get here, I'm not gonna feel supported. And it has lived up to that 100%. And there are times where I say, I hope I'm not just in my honeymoon era,
Right.
but this feels really nice and I hope it stays this way.
Yeah.
But it so far has been phenomenal.
I love it. Well, I know Joe because we're in different things together, but as an individual as well too. So I'm a little biased towards him. I think he's a phenomenal human being. But even when he talks about Bon Secours and St. Francis, like the level of passion and love that he has for that hospital is like, you can tell it truly does emanate from him. And he cares about every single person who comes into that hospital, from the staff all the way to the patients, right? And so I was surprised to find out, I mean, he runs the hospital, right? I was surprised to find out that at least once a month he's back in his scrubs and he's doing his thing. And I was like, oh, that's impressive. Like he's like, one, I've got to keep up, right? I have to do the thing. But two, he wants to keep a pulse on and he walks into patients'
Yeah.
rooms.
Oh, he does a great job.
Yeah. We see him in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
He showed up in my OR one day, just checking in to say hello. He rounds on the floors with the nursing supervisors and patients. He really does keep an eye on everything that's going on in that hospital. And that's, I think, what makes it feel like such a great place is that he's invested and cares about it.
Yeah.
And it shows through every level of the hospital.
Yeah, it definitely trickles down. 4 new surgeons starting within a relatively short period of time. Our OR staff had a lot of people who do same procedures in different ways. And they've learned us, and as we've changed, because surgery is not a stagnant thing, and so I started off doing something one way, and now I want to do it this way and make sure we have this. And they're always like, let me change your card, let me fix that, let me get you that instrument, let me, very responsive to how we can make our practice together, because we're not practicing in isolation as surgeons. We're practicing with our scrub techs and our first assists and our anesthesia colleagues, and so again, we just keep saying the word communication over and over and over again, but it's
essential.
Yeah.
Right. And you need to have, the more you communicate, the more they can anticipate what's going to happen next, right? And so there can be less communication during the critical time, but the pre-communication that happened beforehand will eliminate errors, mistakes, and
yes, exactly. They feel comfortable reaching out. They know they can call and ask us a question and not get yelled at or put down. And I think that's critical, is having everybody on the team feel comfortable having that conversation and making sure that we are all looking out for the best interest of the patient.
I love that. Yeah. So how has so with you guys, right? So like, I'm just curious, what's your schedule like?
Do you really want to know?
I do really want to know.
I mean, it's interesting because we have set days for things, but then emergencies happen and calls happen.
Right.
So I'll just use myself as an example. Mondays, typically I'll do like colonoscopies on Mondays.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm in clinic.
Okay.
Thursdays, ORs in the morning and colonoscopies in the afternoon, and then Fridays all day OR. But if you're on call, then you have to fit in. So overnight you might get appendicitis, cholecystitis, all these different diagnoses, perforated viscus, all these different diagnoses that you have to take to the OR, and then you have to figure out where exactly you're going to put that in your already set schedule. So that's why it's great to have phenomenal partners, because if I have clinic on full day Tuesday, but I got 3 gallbladders that need to be done, 2 Abbeys, then I lean on them and I'm like, well, I can't start taking people to the OR until 4 p.m. And they're
But
like,
I don't
"No."
have clinic till the afternoon, so let's get these people taken care of.
Exactly.
I love that.
So
What does it mean when you say I have clinic? What does that mean?
It's when we're seeing patients in the office.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and those
Sorry,
are,
non.
oh, sorry, I
no,
should
that's
say,
okay.
so in clinic, you basically are, sometimes you're meeting patients for the first time. So
Okay.
they're coming to you and they're saying, hey, I have abdominal pain. And then you're working them up and deciding if they need surgery or not. Or they've already, like, maybe they've had a colonoscopy and they've been found to have a polyp that's unresectable and now they need surgery for that. So then you would basically work them up and then also plan for them to have surgery. But then you also have patients that you've already operated on. So I love clinic because you get both ends of the spectrum, people that are coming in and starting to establish a relationship with you, but then also people that you've already operated on and you're like, yes, you look phenomenal. Remember when I first met you, these are the things that happened and now look at this. I'm so happy with your results.
I love that. Okay.
I think on a day-to-day basis, we're seeing patients that are admitted in the hospital that have come in on call or that we've operated on, and we're seeing how they're making progress. We're seeing patients in office for the first time. We're operating on patients who we've seen and have scheduled for the OR. So our days are very full, and we'll have students periodically and they're like, well, what's the schedule? You're like, you're gonna have to ask me at the end of the day what time I'm gonna be here tomorrow, because it depends. Like there is no, we show up at 8 a.m. and we're gone at 4. No.
Right.
We may show up at 8 a.m., but we don't leave until midnight.
Right.
And we don't know that when we walk in the door in
Right.
the morning.
Yeah.
I'm on call today. My daughter has a swim meet tonight. When I left this morning, I said, I'm going to try my best to get there, but if not, good luck.
I'm rooting for you, kid.
Yeah. So, you don't know when you show up at the hospital. You may have the plan that you're going to see your patients in office and be done for the day,
Right.
but then maybe a post-op patient isn't looking good and you have to consider taking them back to the operating room, and that takes priority over anything else that you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's, you're, at least my family knows if they don't count on me until they see me.
Right. Yeah.
And they're okay with that. They understand that I will be there when I can be, but if I'm not, it's because somebody else really needs me.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so the schedule is definitely open to interpretation. It's just, you just have to roll with it. I don't have clinic till the afternoon, but I tell my husband, I write the schedule down and I say, that day I don't have clinic till the afternoon, but I'm gonna go in and see my inpatients because I need to move their plans forward. Or somebody overnight might have some cases. And so I'm gonna, we have a group text and we, openly just say, hey, yeah, can you help me with this? Yeah, I don't have clinic till the afternoon. Let me come in early and get that patient taken care of and get them home so they can sleep in their own bed tonight.
Yeah.
And then when we're on call over the weekend, that's up 48 hours. Anytime we were talking about being on call, like on call during the week, it's 24 hours. We are the person, we are the surgeon that any surgical consult comes to. And that for 48 hours over the weekend. And so you're seeing the patients that are, there, and you're seeing the new consults, and you're operating, and then you're seeing more consults and seeing more patients. And then you might get done and you go home, and then, but you get paged and say, oh, there's another consult. And my husband knows we'll be at the park, and I'll just, kind of step away and talk to somebody. And then anywhere we go on the weekend, we usually drive 2 cars because I might have to go somewhere. Might have to drive to the hospital, and I have a lovely, wonderful husband who, he gets that.
Right.
I'm sure it's hard for them to, I'm here, I'm not, I'm here, I'm not, or I'm kind of half here because I'm like having a conversation and then my phone goes off and I kind of just like switch into doctor mode.
Yeah.
And then I switch back into mom mode and catch my kid at the end of the slide,
Right.
And it's you just continue to do that dance and get the most out of life. And it's having it all. It's I'm gonna switch to doctor mode. I get to be a doctor. I'm gonna switch to mom mode. I get to be a mom. I get to be a friend. I get to,
Yeah. And people often say, how do you do it? It's like, well, I don't know any different.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know life any different.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder what my couch feels like. I hear about these people who sit on their couch all weekend watching, binge watching a new series. I don't know what that means.
Right.
But it's all good, right? This
Yeah.
is the life we chose. I've got my kids, they're busy, and I've got a job that I love and a group that I love. So yeah, it's busy, it's nonstop, but there isn't anything else I'd rather be doing.
So what made you want to become a surgeon? Like, what did you always want to be a surgeon?
I knew I wanted to be a doctor since the 8th grade after
Okay.
doing a science fair project called Racing Heart Rates. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to be a cardiologist, but then during my first year of medical school, we had a lunch panel and it was a bunch of surgeons. There was like vascular surgeon, plastic surgery, general surgery, and they basically talked about what they did. And I was like, I want to be like those people. They see a problem, they fix a problem, and I want to do that. And that's exactly what it is for me. It's someone comes to you with a problem, and then you're basically fixing the anatomy and understanding the physiology, and then you can get an outcome that actually, you're like, I helped this person, I was able to do that. So that's why.
I love that. I love that. How about you?
It's really the same thing. It's seeing that problem, knowing you can fix it, and having them come back and say, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, I feel so much better. And actually going through my husband's a physician as well.
Okay.
And he was a couple years ahead of me and said, can you do anything? Anything, pick anything else. You are going to ruin our lives if you become a surgeon. And I
I'm going to become a surgeon. Why do you don't say don't do that thing? That's right.
And he just, I said, I just don't like anything else enough.
Yeah.
I said, this is really what I want to do. So he actually made me promise not to become a surgeon. So we were kind of alluding to that old school, very patriarchal,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the surgeon, mentality. He said, well, if you're going to go into surgery, at least don't become a surgeon. So I've
Love
tried
that.
to withhold that part of the deal, and just being a good person who cares about the patients, isn't the, throwing a fit in the OR and,
Yeah.
So, yes, but I chose it because I liked the idea of there's a problem, you can fix it, and patients feel better.
Anybody else
Yeah.
here? What's the song? Problem Resolve It. I'm sorry. Squirrel moment. There's a song that, as you were saying that, I was hearing it in my head. But I'm terrible at. Don't ever
Something
take
about
me
like if you got a problem, I'll solve it.
Yes.
Something, but I can't find it either.
something about the DJ and Revolve It, which
Yeah.
is completely nothing with surgery. But yes, don't ever take
Don't
me to
ask me to
music
DJ.
bingo.
No.
Yes, exactly.
I actually found medicine a little later in my life, but I was in love with the fine arts initially, and
Wow.
I didn't find the satisfaction that I wanted from that. The big thing that was missing was that feeling of I wanted the guarantee that I could help people, because you can help people through the arts. I 100% agree, and I
Yeah.
love my friends who are continuing to fight that fight, but you don't always get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
What you create doesn't really have the promise that it's going to help somebody. It might be something really cruddy,
Right.
But with medicine, and surgery specifically, if I take these classes and do these things and prove I have these skills, I can help people in this way. And people who are baristas help people. People who are construction workers help. Everybody helps in their own way.
Absolutely.
And I loved that with surgery, I really liked the idea of working as hard as we work.
Yeah.
And it's fine that not everybody wants to do that, but I do. And so the fact that I do, I felt a bit of an obligation, but also a desire to do that, to use every ounce of me and be tired at the end of the day, because that feels good. And I get to work with the human body, which is miraculous. We are all miraculous.
Mhm.
And it's just, I imagine it's the same thing that carpenters and electricians and plumbers and sculptors feel. You get to work with this amazing medium and accomplish this thing that, like, right there, you see it.
Right.
Their gallbladder is bothering them. Every time they eat peanut butter, they have this horrible pain in their side. And I can take out their gallbladder, they go home in the same day, and then they can eat peanut butter again.
Yeah.
Like, great. I'm not necessarily curing cancer in that moment, but
Right.
I'm helping that person's quality of life. Other times I am taking the cancer out. And other times I'm having a conversation with somebody who doesn't want surgery. And that's okay. I'm there. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a surgeon.
Right.
I'm there to provide the information of this is, this is the reality. These are your options. Sometimes they're not great options.
Right.
But I'm never going to twist anybody's arm to tell them you have to do this.
Yeah.
Or else I'm
Right.
gonna, it's just a matter of, sometimes it is a matter of life and death.
Right.
But yeah, two grandfather surgeons, and it skipped a generation, and then it bit me late. But I got there. My parents are happy. I finally got there.
So in the article that Joe sent to me, he talked about you guys mentoring, right, and reaching back, and I love that because that's the image I think about, reaching back and helping the next generation. So how are you guys doing that? Like where do you see you guys doing that in the community, and how are you doing it? If you're doing it right now, or if you
No, it happens on a
it.
daily basis. So we have PA students and residents that shadow us, and they see what it's like to see our patients when we first meet them in clinic, and actually go to the OR, and then you get to develop a relationship with them. And then with me also, I haven't been doing so well this year, but I used to have a little bit of a social media presence.
Okay.
And on that, I had a lot of med students and residents that would reach out to me that I've never met before. And they would just say, hey, do you have some time to talk about your journey? And I'm thinking about applying to surgery, but I have these, reservations about it. And just really just taking that phone call. And then some of those relationships, it's for a prolonged period of time. And I think with mentorship, it's not only about like who you are helping, like being a mentor, but then also there are many times that I'm mentees. My partners are my mentors. I have other people that I've met in different aspects of my profession that they are my mentors, and in different aspects, because everyone's career is different, and what you want out of your career is also different. And I think we talked about how demanding this job can be. So then also talking about the truth of the matter is that sometimes it's over demanding. Let's talk about wellness. Let's talk about creating a career that we actually are passionate about, and gives us energy, and that I can sustainably do this for a long time. Yeah. So I think mentorship is just, it's a long time game. You do it in small moments, but then you also have your mentees that you have for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's not necessarily about specifically teaching, which is part of it, but being the example,
yes.
Right? We do have, so the family practice program at St. Francis sends their residents through our service. And they're not going to be surgeons, they're family practice residents, but seeing how we communicate with patients. There's some of the female residents who, when we walk in the room, will introduce themselves by their first name. And I stop and say, no, you are Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
Don't let people call you by your first name. You have worked hard to get to this point.
Yeah.
You are Dr. So-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, use that title. You've earned it.
Yeah.
And just kind of showing them how to interact with different members of the hospital team and the resources that are available. So it's not just mentoring within surgery. It's kind of showing the hospital as a whole how to be part of a team, how to be a good role model within the hospital system.
Yeah.
And then being a more recent graduate, I'm still in very close connection with my family back at VCU. And so I've had them reach out and say, hey, I have a new incoming resident, or I have a medical student who's worried, she's really interested in surgery, but she doesn't know if she can have a family too, which I was told throughout my 4 years of medical school, oh, you don't want to be a surgeon, don't you want to have a family? Which one, that was presumptive, because at the time, no, I didn't.
Right.
And two, you can do both. Mm-hmm. And so for people to actively discourage me from doing what I wanted to do was just, when I hadn't displayed any, it's one thing to say I don't really know the grades for that. You got to bump your grades up if you want to do that, or something to give me something constructive, but not just, but you're a girl, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Actually.
Right.
And it's really inspiring, the residents that I saw when I was a resident had babies during their residency. And so I saw other people doing it, and I'm like, oh, you can do it. It's hard. It's hard.
It's not a walk in the park, ladies and
but I wouldn't advise it as a fun activity. But it's doable, and I'm so glad that I did it. And so if I can, talk my former attendings can put me in touch with folks and say, hey, she's somebody who, this is the path that I took, and I'm happy to talk to people about it with, again, no salesman pressure. You have to do this, but this was my experience. And it's very, very possible.
I think it is changing quite a bit in terms of women in surgery, because I went through the VCU residency program, and my first child I had while I was there as a resident, and I was one of the first to be pregnant within the program.
Oh.
And there was not.
Way to be a trailblazer.
Yeah,
there was not a lot of
resources,
I
policies,
yes.
protection.
I mean, I was on call. I was on call for 24 hours. I signed out at 6:30 in the morning, and I went downstairs at 7 a.m. to have my C-section.
Oh, wow.
And there was no leeway. And I had to take an exam a week after my C-section, and I was the chief resident making the call schedule. So somebody didn't show up, and I came in on maternity leave to take that call because nobody else could. So I think things, because women kept screwing up their plan for residency, the program's plan, by having babies, they've had to adapt. And so I think it's probably a lot different.
Yeah. One of the residents actually built, as her research project, Dr. Freudenberger, designed the breastfeeding policy for breastfeeding resident mothers, so that there are established protections of they can do X, Y, and Z, and did a whole education for people. Because a lot of people, unless you've actually pumped and breastfed, you don't know what that entails. You don't know the process and how long that takes and how many calories this person is supposed to be taking in, et cetera. And so it's definitely grown. And yeah, the more of us that are doing it, the more they're, and it's, I pumped in the OR, like it's fine. you do it, you wear a wearable pump. Lots of female surgeons have done it, I imagine. But it's definitely, evolved and again, it's just about our continued presence and
saying we can do this and we're going to do this.
Yeah, we're not becoming surgeons, we're redefining surgeons.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's talk a little about what the future looks like. Right. So do you guys plan on, is it just going to be the 4 of you guys, or are there going to be more?
Well, I mean, the hospital's constantly growing. They're building new outpatient freestanding ERs.
You guys are adding
more beds to the hospital.
Like 100 and...
100.
Joe's told me so. I'm so sorry, Joe. It's like 100 and something odd beds. Because I remember, I'm like, oh, that's a lot.
I mean, that community, Chesterfield County in general, is just expanding exponentially. And they're building all kinds of new facilities right around the hospital. So we are constantly seeing increased volume. Yeah. And as we're seeing that increased volume, we will need to add, more surgeons to the mix, because there is a limit to what we can.
There's only 24 hours in a day. Like I don't.
So yes, we will be expanding and adding more surgeons, and we don't know who that will be, but it will certainly be someone that we interview and make sure that they fit in with our goals and principles, and that continues the good work that I think that we've been doing.
Yeah, I love that.
And I also want to make a little plug. We are all robotic surgeons as well. Yes. So the other thing that we are expanding. So we actually use a robotic platform called Da Vinci, and we put ports into our patients and through small incisions, and then we actually sit at a console and we can do very minimally invasive surgery, very complex surgery, especially like deep in the pelvis, or even surgeries that would have needed a long open incision and it would have taken the patients longer time to recover. We can do it through small incisions and then faster recovery and better pain. So I think another thing when we're talking about expanding is expanding our robotic ability and the amount of robots that we have available at our facility. So currently we have 3 and we're looking to get more. Okay. Joe.
Hint, hint.
Yes, but it is important. Like we are all, we go to conferences, we stay up with the current medical literature. We are constantly bringing in new equipment and procedures to make sure that we're staying on top of, the constantly changing field to offer our patients the best available care.
I can only imagine that you guys are learning something new every single day. You would think that after all of these years and years of practice, right, of being the medical community being in existence, that you have to reach your limit of knowledge, and it's
it's lifelong learning.
Yes. Which is why they call it practice, right? Yes. And it's not because they're practicing on you people. It's because they're constantly learning, and I love that. I love people who have a thirst for knowledge and realize that what I know today is not necessarily the same thing that I need to know tomorrow.
And it's not necessarily surgery itself. It's, a lot of patients are taking GLP-1s now. We're seeing a
Yes.
lot more people with trouble with their gallbladders because of this. So
Okay.
that's changing our volume in our practice.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just what's changing in surgery, it's what's changing in the general
Correct.
medical community
Yeah,
as a whole that then affects our practice and our practice habits.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is turn on the TV and Serena Williams is,
Yeah.
advocating the next GLP-1. That's very interesting. And I totally lost my train of thought now that I was thinking about that. Okay, so what's something you want to share with our audience that you think would make that is either about you or something that you've done or that you want them to know? And I'm going to ask all three of you the same question.
Oh, you're gonna ask all three of us the
All
question.
three of us,
Okay,
yes.
so.
And I love how in sync you guys are. 'Cause you're like, ditto, what she just said. Right.
I would say what I would want everyone to know is, number one, you do know your body best.
Yes.
And listen to your body and listen to what you feel like is off. But when you realize that something is off, go seek help.
Okay.
And especially, I'm just gonna put a plug here for colorectal cancer screening, especially when it comes to blood per rectum. If you see any blood, yes, everyone wants to blame their hemorrhoids, but if you see something's off, go talk to a doctor, let them evaluate you, and if it's just hemorrhoids, it's just hemorrhoids, but we don't want to miss anything. So I would say, you know your body, you know it well, but go seek help. ChatGPT and all the other things can only take you so far. Just come to us. We've trained for years before we got to this point, and we can really help you. So I would say that's my public service announcement.
Well, don't ask Google because you're dying. I have a sniffles, you're dying. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I would say, kind of along those, yes, come talk to us. We get a lot of consults from, primary care or ER follow-ups that don't need a surgery.
Right.
But they need somebody to come talk with them, give them reassurance. Yes, you have that lump there, but it's benign. Would you like us to give you peace of mind and do something with it? Or we can continue to watch it. And if you have concerns, come back.
Right.
Just because you're seeing a surgeon doesn't mean you need a surgery or you're going to get a surgery. It means that from our experience, our expertise, we're going to talk with you, evaluate you, and say, these are your options. This is what we think. Where should we go with this? What are your thoughts? A collaborative effort of let us evaluate the information we have, let us examine and hear your concerns, and together let's come up with a plan. That plan, just because we're surgeons, does not necessarily mean a surgery.
Gotcha. Love it.
She stole mine.
Right.
We're a little too in sync, but that's one of my big things with becoming a surgeon and changing that stigma with surgeons is, they don't listen. And you're not going to walk into our office and feel like we're a high pressure car salesman or somebody working on commission. We're there to help you and provide information, and nobody's there to twist your arm and say you have to do this. But it is my job to say these are things, contributing to your health, and I do recommend you stop smoking, and that does increase your risk for surgeries, and I'm there to help educate and help people make a decision. But when it comes down to it, you all as the patients make the decisions.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully you feel comfortable speaking with us and meeting with us and trusting us with your care, which is an absolute privilege to be a part of the community in that very, very sacred way.
I love that. How do you ask better questions
Ask
as
other-
patients? Because
Oh.
you're
Yes.
right. Like, we do know our bodies
Yeah.
best, right? But like, how do I
Yeah.
go into a doctor's office and be like, well, I'm in pain. Well, what exactly does that mean? How can we be better? Because you guys aren't mind readers. I mean,
No.
I think you might
I
have.
think being
Change.
honest, people will sometimes not tell us everything because they're embarrassed or they're ashamed. We've heard it all. We've heard it all. We've seen it all. Don't be embarrassed, because we can't give you the best advice if we don't have all of the information.
Right.
And you don't necessarily know what questions to ask because you don't know what's relevant
Correct.
to us. So tell us everything, tell us the embarrassing things, tell us the things that you don't know if it's relevant or not, and let us help sort through those details and figure out whether that is meaningful or not. The worst thing we do is we talk to somebody for an hour and at the very end they're like, well, I don't know if this makes a difference, but, and you're like,
And you're like, that makes all the
That
difference.
makes
That's the one thing I needed.
That is what I needed. I didn't need to know that your cat died 5 years ago, but I did need to know that that was
yes.
festering.
So just tell us, whether you think it's important or not, tell us, because it does help us build the story, build the, you know, the process of what is going on and how do we best need to investigate this and help you.
And I think it is helpful if you can create a list. And when I say a list, a short list, because sometimes people will come with a list of 20 questions. And as you know, we have you for 15 or 30 minutes in our clinic. So I think just say, you know, what are the top 3 questions that I want to get answered? And,
Yes.
you know, just keep those 1, 2, and 3. And if we can answer those for you in that time, then at least we have achieved, you know, that and answered those questions.
Right.
So I think, you know, being direct, but also succinct, that can be helpful for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'd say if you don't have necessarily specific questions as a patient or feel like you're not asking the right questions, the one thing that I can't and we can't tell you is how you're feeling or what you eat or what you know. And so if you come in and you've been having a pain, be able to write a book report or tell us about that pain. You know, when does it happen? Is it related to food? How long has it been happening? Is it really severe? Does it only happen at night? You know, start thinking about, you know, if I had to write a story about this problem that I'm having, what are all the details about my problem that I could think of? Because a lot of times that helps us figure out what's going on. And that's the wonderful thing about being a physician, is working with patients and working together to sort things out.
Well, I can only imagine, like, as you guys are sitting there listening to the information, like your neurons are going off and you're like, ooh, this connects to that, you know, that type of thing. So,
The original ChatGPT.
yes.
Yeah, and there's many times where people come to us for a particular problem, and as you listen, you're like, that is not your problem at all.
Yeah.
You don't
Yes.
need to be here seeing me for this. This is who you actually need to see.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We're happy to be part of that process to
Right.
get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
But there's often times where that will happen, or, you know, they come in for one problem, you're like, yeah, no, that's not the actual problem here.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you guys for being here. Like, this truly was a huge honor, and the fact that Joe asked me, I was like, oh yes, absolutely, I'd love to. But thank you guys for being here, for taking time out of your day with your, you know, your families and stuff like that, for being here and just sharing the information. And thank you for what you're doing in the community. Like, that means a lot to know that there are phenomenal, you know, humans, but phenomenal females who are really, like, they love what they do. They're really, really darn good at what they do. And you're taking care of the people that are in our community. So thank you guys for that. So
Thank you so much. And thank you for having us.
absolutely,
Yes.
this was a pleasure. Oh, now we're buffering. All right. Well, make sure that you guys tune in next week, because I will have Kelly and Chris Johansson from the Back Nine on here. And as always, stay fluid, my friends. I'm always cheering for you. Love you guys. Bye.